King Solomon, what a fascinating character. Imagine waking up in the mansion temple, rolling around in hundreds of pounds of gold, having a ring that allows you to control demons to have them do your bidding righteously. Also having a worm called a shamir that can burrow through things, even stone. All sorts of hidden technology, and even a flying carpet possibly. Today, however, we're going to cover one very specific thread. It has to do with controlling demons. It has to do with the ring, which is the source of all of the ring lore, from the Saturn rings to the Lord of the Rings. It's all based off of Solomon's ring. This ring is said to control demons, 72 sons of God, the divine council probably, which are the 72 chieftain demons. These ancient demons who controlled nations also have their own sigil, their name expressed through some sort of frequency depiction in the form of an electrical circuit sigil. Solomon used these with his rings in order to control, commission, summon, and bind demons. The fascinating part of this mystery was how it was all turned into emojis, and the smartphone we're on right now was all based off of Solomon's temple quantum technology, which I'll be getting into more in the future. Check me at the end. But for now, let's dive into this mystery about how could these possibly be built into emojis. Just a stretch, right? Are emojis demonic sigils used to witchcraft the world down?
Treat yourself.
This is the kind of thing I love to look into, something I think is going to be a stretch. And then the more I look into it, the more it seems like it's not. And then I get more intrigued. Let's check it out. Exhibit A, 72 emojis, connected to the 72 seals of Solomon. The 72 demon sigils, seals and symbols of the lesser key of Solomon. Also, Unicode, the company in control of deciding what emojis make it in. Apparently it's a very hard process regardless of how many requests they get for other emojis to make it in. Only certain emojis can stay, or make it in. I still thought it was a stretch until I saw this footage right here. We've discussed this kind of technology before. The phone that's in your hand. Where does it come from? I told you about the origin of Steve Jobs and the cave with the guru. And the spirit, where this was technology meant to be spread around the world. Can your phone read your mind? Can it match the user's energy signature? How long has this Neph tech been around? There's the idea that some of these sigils or emojis can also be combined to pretty much create spells through the use of the pattern that you put them in. It was Confucius who said signs and symbols rule the world, not words or laws. What is a sigil anyway? Rabbit trail for you to go down. But basically sigils are like symbols that are infused with power that can control things. Think about the idea of pictograms. Think about the idea of company logos and why every company has a logo. Symbols precede language and control the world. Are there any symbols controlling you now? What do you do with the knowledge that emojis are demonic sigils anyway? It all just starts with awareness of this world around us. Just following clues one step at a time. Where's it going to take us next? See you next time on Cold Brew Conspiracy. Oh, don't get freaked out next time you look at your emojis. You just found out emojis are actually demonic sigils, and now you want to know more.
Treat yourself.
Plus internet portals, food sigils, Mark of the Beast numerology, and more. Here we go. I'm going to start off with a quote, or a paraphrase of an idea, which is basically what every demon or jinn waits for is for two things. A very skilled magician to summon them so they can get down to work, or a fool who knows nothing to accidentally summon them. Doesn't even know they're there. We're going to come back to this thought later. But first we're going to continue investigating. I'm just going to tell you the story of the research I was able to find on it. Some maybe connect, and some maybe is a total reach. I'm just going to present it to you and let you decide. You know about Solomon, but we need to add a few more characters to the mix, like the Queen of Sheba, the Sultan of Oman, some of the creators of the Emoji Movie, and so. An archaeologist in the 50s named Wendell Phillips uncovered the site and holdings of the Queen of Sheba. And what he uncovered was so mysterious and hidden, but apparently was worth so much that it made him the highest oil holder in the entire world in exchange for what he found. And he became the second Westerner at the time to be an honorary tribal sheik. So obviously what he found was very valuable and held him in great regard. Now introducing another character into the mix, the Queen of Sheba. It was well known the relationship she had with King Solomon and how much he liked her and wanted to impress her. Imagine being so wise but being egged on in a Delilah-like manner to reveal secrets to be even more knowledgeable than the Queen of Sheba. Solomon would have definitely shared these sigils and seals with her and his ability to control these spirits. So again, this is where some speculation comes in, that she took this home with her to Sheba, and this was part of what was uncovered in the archaeological expedition of Sheba and the Queen of Sheba's holdings that Wendell Phillips sold to the Omani government for all the riches and fame. Which the same year, the Omani government then joins the Unicode Consortium, is the same year that the 72 emojis that match the demon sigils were released. What's very interesting about all this is that the Queen of Sheba sent a payment of 666 talents of gold every year to King Solomon. We're going to come back to that number later. But this idea of 666 having to do with some sort of mark in the story I'm telling you now and in Revelation. Let's jump into some interesting numerology for the moment. 72, like the seals, is also believed to be the Tetragrammaton, the true name of God, consisting of 72 utterances. There's also believed to have 72 angel symbols. And when you combine the 72 and 72, you get 144, which this whole number of 144 and 144K coming up in the Bible, well, that's a whole other storyline. And it fits in with this whole idea of humans replacing fallen angels in the storyline of God, which is kind of what the 144,000 is in Revelation. It's a chosen group of humans that take a holy place that angels would have taken. Now, aside from the number 72 being linked to other things like Pharaoh and even Star Trek references to 72 beings that ruled the world, we're going to move into the emojis that immediately follow the 72. Check out this picture.
First 3 of death, the next 2 of a spirit, the last one of a soulless automaton robot, the 3-2-1 occult countdown, and the final state of humanity, the soulless automaton robot, for them to now interface through.
Now, back to the Omani government and other interesting things. Saudi Arabia lifted its 35-year movie ban for the Emoji movie when it came out. You know, the government that possibly got the seals, that definitely were on the Unicode Consortium that released the 72 demon sigil seals, who now lifted the ban for the Emoji movie. Which, if you look at some of the writers on the Emoji movie, it's interesting. There was a demonologist who was also very proficient and into this stuff. And someone also who bought the house from the movie The Antichrist, who was also into these kinds of things. And you have this whole storyline of this devil character in the Emoji movie. And other themes, such as teaching of hieroglyphics in ancient mystery schools, themes of being glitched and trying to be fixed, which is basically the state demons are in now. Emoji switching identities at the end. And now if you look at the 72 genders of identity or gender, that's what you have. Think of the worldwide use of things like now the internet, phones, and emojis. Could this be an attempt to gain access or free themselves or be summoned through the emoji demon sigils? Take a look at this picture for a minute. Notice that one of the powers of one of these demons is to inhabit crystal, just like the one in your phone. Technology of all kinds that I've covered crystals and technology. And I've covered what technology is and the link between technology and the spiritual realm. And the more we go on, the more we're seeing the merging of the two, because since the beginning they were one when they were taught to men. Enoch covers this, and this technology has always been around. One of my wise commenters also pointed out, and I'll let you decide if it's true, how this Tree of Life Kabbalah picture looks kind of like the design for the phone, with the keypad and the home screen. This is how something can appear totally innocent and remain totally hidden in plain sight, which is part of a way of gaining permission without you knowing that you're giving permission. A way of welcoming them without you knowing you're welcoming them. And honestly, I don't think anybody really knows the full effects that any of this is having. But I will just say, look at the world as a whole in the past couple years. Or even since this happened in 2016. Do you see a difference in the world? Do you see an uprising in witchcraft? Is Christianity now becoming the most persecuted religion in the world? Are just things changing and getting crazy in general? Are the world leaders totally unocculting and just revealing themselves as villains, plain as day in our sight? In conclusion, with ideas like NFT and the like, what this is, it's all legal permission of digital items. You don't even have to physically possess something for now something to physically possess you. Speaking of possession, it doesn't mean you're demon possessed if you've used an emoji before, if you own a phone, if you've watched the Emoji movie, or if you've eaten an Oreo sigil before. Yeah, that's a thing. Just like tattoos. Are tattoos portals? God said don't make any markings of the dead in your body, in references to tattoos. There's a belief that tattoos are portals for the dead or other things to come through if you have their sigil or their name or their image on your body. Again, this ties back to a lot of the Torah laws where it seems like God wasn't really out to ruin our fun.
When he gave laws about what clothes to wear, it was for the highest frequency. When he gave laws about staying away from witchcraft, there was a reason. Remember, it doesn't mean you're a demon-possessed, hell-bound, cursed loser if you have a tattoo on your body. This is just a spiritual awakening, seeking truth at all costs. We're all learning together where it takes us. There surely are things that have been hidden from us, but many are awakening, and many know deeper levels of truth. Will you follow the truth wherever it takes you? The more we unbrainwash, we see how deep the matrix really goes, which by conclusion must mean that you're very important, and this knowledge is very important, or there wouldn't be such lengths to hide it from you, or to secretively and manipulatively control, gain access, or try to gain powers. Whether you believe any of this stuff or not, that's fine, but there are definitely rich, powerful people who believe this and go to great lengths to infuse it into things and to hide it in plain sight. I've given you a lot to consider and more. At first it may be disturbing, or it might not, but the point is to just learn and be the best you can be. This world may look bad now, but that's only for now. This world needs you and the strength that you're going to get. See you next time on Cobra Conspiracy.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
These two elements, barium and aluminum, Baal is what they keep finding with the chemtrail. What I find fascinating is with the Baal demonic sigil that we've matched up to an emoji, look at what he's spraying out of the nostrils, just like the BAL and the chemtrail. This understanding of the elements and... This is from the Lesser Key of Solomon, the word key being important here in a minute. What this looks like is an emoji. If you've covered my emoji sigil research, then you already know. It's on my page if not. This looks like the key access emoji, the one you push to then be the key to access all the other emojis. It's also the very first one you see. Look at the very specific mouth shape. Right in the middle, there appears to be a keyhole, the Lesser Key of Solomon, the key to freeing the demons through accessing the emojis spreading all over the world through smartphone and tech. Also, if you look at the eyes, these are very specific symbols. The one on the left that looks like a sickle is Saturn, and the one on the right is Mars. And what's in between Mars and Saturn in the sky? It's Jupiter. Jupiter is the key. Jupiter, the king planet, representing the Antichrist, the birthing of the Antichrist / Baal. Also the same reference to the 923 astrological alignment of Jupiter being in the womb of Virgo. It's all about the allegiance to the grand work, to birthing Baal, birthing the Antichrist, freeing Nimrod, the Antichrist, from the pit with the keys. The key, by the way, is also a huge tower, like a cell phone tower used to spread the emojis, used to free the demons. Also, this tower reaching to the heavens, just like Babel. And also interesting that the Saturn emoji is the only planet with an emoji. Also, this variant Seal of Solomon appears to be not only the key emoji in the first one, but also the one that's exactly 6 over. Look at the very specific eye, the way it's open. This is the only emoji that's like that, and the Saturn one looks like it's closed. Emoji key demon tech, to free demons without the wisdom to bind them. Imagine King Solomon, the wisest of them all, who lost control of it, and yet people still seem to play with it and think they could control it if Solomon couldn't. Moving on.
Not only is that angle there the angle of 3 hexagons, which is 666, but let's compare it to these other things and see if we can find a pattern. We have the Seal of Solomon from the Grimoire, and this other shield, which is from the Air Force from a project planned to detonate a nuke on the moon. Also, we have this one particular emoji, as well as the devil tongue. Check out the pattern. Look at the eyes, one closed, one open. Check out the thing coming below the mouth shape, the tongue. Look at the tower always ascending in the middle, and look at a line through the middle. All of this is the occultic faux Seal of Solomon Grimoire version Mark of the Beast references. Seems like a lot of higher-ups are really into this. Moving on, another...
That's the truth. That's the truth.
The viral emoji Demon Sigil saga continues. Are emojis, the modern-day hieroglyphs, the #1 language in the world? Let's check it out. With this thought in mind that they're building the new world, the Tower of Babel re-babbling again, from Mystery Babylon, Tower of Babel all the way to the future Mystery Babylon, completed, is language and all of technology based off of demon sigils, which has even worked its way in through the emojis.
I've done several videos before about the components of circuitry, and electrical components all resemble these demon sigils, which also resemble the ancient Nordic runes or Paleo-Hebrew or ancient star markings / constellations, all tying into the spiritual realm and fallen spiritual technology and beings. Plenty of engineers have left me comments saying that they thought that people were just bored when they put designs into circuit boards, and they look exactly like some of these demon sigils. This whole suppressed old world where the entire earth is a grid, an electrical grid. You can see how pyramids in circuit boards or cities in circuit boards from an aerial view look identical. Circuit board, fiber optic, and lasers all come from post-World War II Nazi Nef tech. Werner von Braun and others given secret, occult fallen angel tech. And even with Project Paperclip, some of these scientists were funneled in to the United States. Science, the word, and the origin itself is very interesting, as well as some secrets of alchemy and the elements, which we'll be getting into in the future. I showed you a list of how some of these summoning sigils look like a diagram of some electrical components. Also, that whole story with Ben Franklin and the kite being a summoning sigil for the Lord of Power, reminds me of the gravity story with an apple. What's up with all these stories? Are they even real? So anyway, with this Ben Franklin discovering electricity story with the kite, the demon summoning sigil for the God of Power, and then all the L words tying into electricity, elite, and other L words I've covered before, is all of this technology a way for fallen spirits to interface through? And also, why do some cymatic patterns also look like sigils, and frequency has everything to do with the spirit realm? Opening doors. Sigils and star markings found all over the old world, kind of like phone numbers that open up doors. This all even ties in with stuff like Ohm, future plug coming, and other mandalas in the whole ancient world just giving us frequency displays. This totally ties into the entire matrix grid that we're all connected to. What's up with all these 5G towers? 5G, pentagram. This is all for entertainment, by the way. How does this connect to mania, the devil's tongue, Hollywood, elite celebrities, reptilians, pretty much the theory of everything, and of course the device that we're all holding in our hands right now? Is this smartphone based on the Kabbalah tree of life itself, and all this technology, spiritual technology, that we always carry with us all the time, all based on demon sigils and this entire electric circuit board that we're all living on, and even made its way into the #1 language in the world possibly now, emojis, modern day hieroglyphs. More coming soon. Until then, make sure the only thing you're plugged into is the savage truth. See you next time.
Shoutouts to the real ones. Speaking of demons, we're going to close with some new TikToks I did about demons and ancient curses. Go find my new page, I had to reboot it. If any of these topics interest you, I'm going to have a brand new format on YouTube coming out. We're going to be going way deeper into this, probably about 10 to 20 minutes at least. Peace out. Christians can definitely be demonized. That word demon possession, whether you're talking about oppression, possession, or some sort of demonization, I think we've all been taught wrong about. It's very clear that Christians can have this kind of torment come upon them. It doesn't matter if they're a Christian. And let me tell you why. Because it's clear that all through Jesus' ministry, he did two things when he went anywhere. As far as his ministry, he preached and he expelled demons. And he wasn't going to bars, nightclubs, and atheistic places. He was going to Jewish synagogues, regular church-going people, children, regular children that constantly had spirits, demons, evil, unclean spirits, spirits of infirmity, and other types of demonic spirit attachments. People sometimes often pridefully get offended at the concept that they could have a demon because they think other people are judging them and they could be evil. It has nothing to do with someone being evil, having a demon. It has to do with the fact that they're human, and demons are legalistic experts that look for loopholes. They just wait for people to sin. They follow you around, and as soon as you sin, they can enter or attach in some sort of way. That's what it seems like. So for someone to be walking around thinking they have no demonic attachments, no demonic plot against them, that's a complete deception. It's also a deception that requires them to think that they're sinless. Now, it is true that the blood of Christ does cover all and does render one sinless. But back in the day, according to sources, Jews thought that if they didn't wash their hands, they could possibly eat a demon. Hence the demon parasite link that I've been talking about. This whole thing ties in together. Parasites are demons. There's some sort of Nephilim technology. There's a whole worm thread I'll be getting into with this. Skipping right to the bottom line, you don't need any rituals, you don't need crystals, you don't need protection, you don't need to call on ancestors. That's necromancy. You're channeling dead people. All you need is the blood of Jesus and to live righteously. Ancient spirits are returning, and they're trying to eat your lunch for being stupid. They've kept all this knowledge hidden so that they could infest and lay around latent until it's time for them to activate and manifest. They've got this whole demon network pretty much built up, and with the returning of their so-called gods, some planetary alignments, energy changes, time to know who you serve. Stuff's about to get real. People will be having powers activated. Know your God and who you serve. Time to make the choice once and for all. Peace.
Ancient curses still lingering for thousands of years maybe, waiting for the wrong fool to fall into one. In the Bible, when Joshua destroyed Jericho, the Lord through Joshua laid a curse on the city that whoever rebuilt the gates, the curse would be at the expense of his firstborn. Imagine hundreds of years passing, and your tribe goes through there and has no idea about that, and that's where you decide to build. This same concept multiplied by thousands of years and thousands of places. How many ancient curses do you think are still lingering around just waiting for the wrong fool to fall into one? All sorts of lands are cursed. All sorts of native tribes know about these as well. Some curses required a specific person of a certain bloodline or descent to utter specific things, certain frequency or certain words, in a certain place, possibly even in certain times in order to break the curse. But we're just going to cut right to the bottom line. If you're dealing with any kind of curse in your life, the blood of Jesus has all power over curses. Also, there's the power of life and death in the tongue. Don't curse yourself. Curses are like playing with fire. The Lord said he will curse the people that curse his people. Also, probably wise to be discerning any land you go to, buy, or any possession or object you have, period, to pray over it. And be careful what objects you receive from certain people. Lots of witches out here trying to be sneaky. If you want a quick prayer before you roll out, just say, I command all curses that have come against me to drown in the blood of Jesus right now. And just go and live righteously. See you next time with Savage Truth.
Yo. You could love him, you could leave him, but no, you nothing without him. And there's no doubt about it. You know that you need him, there's just something about it. And there's no doubt about it. I just want another minute with him, not a little. That's the truth. That's the truth. You know it's official. You gon' know it when it hits you. Get a little sentimental when he got me loose.
Gon' give you what you came for, gon' get it. Yeah, I'm feeling energetic. Don't try to ruin my vibe, I won't let it. Enemy come again, but he looking so pathetic.